we have a trade. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the first trade of the 2024 WNBA season, okay? It took a while, but we are finally here with our first trade. Today, we saw the Chicago Sky and the Connecticut Sun make some trades. I'm going to talk about who they got. I'm going to talk about what this means for both teams going forward, and ultimately sort of giving this sort of a sort of grade. All right. So the Chicago Sky trade away Marina Mabrey and the second round pick in next year's draft in 2025. And the Sky receive Rachel Banham, Mariah Jefferson, the first round pick of the 2025 draft, and the rights to swap the first round draft pick in 2026. Now, guys, that is what happened today. That is the trade that happened today. And let's sort of break this down for those who may not know. So the Connecticut Sun is a very, very good team in the WNBA. They are. They are a very, very good team, and they're a team that is very defensive-minded. This is not a offensive powerhouse. Yeah, sure, they can score, but they're not an offensive powerhouse by no means at all. They currently are in second place in the WNBA right now with a record of 18-6. And for the Connecticut Sun, they really did need another scorer. They needed another scorer, and they got exactly that. They got exactly that. Because when we look at the Connecticut Sun, yes, they play some really good defense, but sometimes they get into some scoring slumps, and they don't have someone who can make some shots. And so, hence the trade for a player like a Marina Mabrey. I think this is an excellent pickup by the Connecticut Sun. They needed a starter-like player who can shoot, and also someone who can also play defense. Yes. We have, Rachel Banham, who's leaving the Connecticut Sun, who could also shoot as well. But with Marina Mabrey, you're getting an all-star. You're getting a player who can play 30-plus minutes a game and do well for you. A player who has had an enhanced role on the defensive end this season. We've seen Marina play a whole lot better on defense all season. You can even look at the game. Yesterday with the Las Vegas Aces. Marina Mabrey played well on both the offensive and defensive end. For the people in the chat who say that Marina does not play defense, she is playing way more defense than she's ever had played before. She is not anywhere near close to a defensive first team or second team or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But she is not as much of a liability as she used to be on defense, which to me makes her more appealing to a team like the Connecticut Sun. Because yes, they need a lot of shooting, but they also don't need someone who can completely screw them up on defense. The things that Marina lacks on defense, it's going to get picked up by her teammates. But she's going to bring that shooting skill set. She's going to bring that shooting skill set that's going to be very, very helpful for the Connecticut Sun. So for them, I thought this was a great win. This was a fantastic win for a player like to grab a player like Marina Mabrey because, guys, the Connecticut Sun is in win now mode. They are in win now mode. This is the season. The Connecticut Sun, they've had the same roster for a long time, right? You've had Dewana and Alyssa and Brianna. You've had them for a while, and they've gotten close. The Connecticut Sun have made it to the finals. They've gotten close to a WNBA championship, but they haven't gotten over the hump. And if you've been watching the last month or so for the Connecticut Sun, you see that they struggle to shoot. There are some games where you don't really have anybody in high digits for the Connecticut Sun, and that's because they focus a lot on defense, and it's not much in terms of offense. Sometimes they do. This is not me saying that the Connecticut Sun don't have shooters. They do have people who can shoot the basketball, but consistently, scoring a bunch of points. It just doesn't really happen like that for the Connecticut Sun because their ethos really is defense. And so that's something that has to be thought about. And so because of that, Marina Mabrey is traded to the Connecticut Sun. I think this is a good win for them. And it's going to help them make it as far as they possibly can. For them, at the end of the season, they want to be in the WNBA finals. That's where the Connecticut Sun wants to be. And with Marina Mabrey and with this trade, I really do think that they can get there. I really do. So that is Marina Mabrey. She is a player who is she's under contract for next season. So guys, she is under contract for this season, the rest of the season, and next season. So she'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2026. All right, and now let's talk about who the Chicago Sky received. They received Rachel Banham. So Rachel Banham, guys, if you don't know, Rachel Banham is fan-freaking-tastic. She is a player who played for the Minnesota Gophers, set a boatload of records when she was in college. She went over to the WNBA and played for the Minnesota Lynx. She was okay with Minnesota, but I really did feel like this year going to the Connecticut Sun, I thought that was a really good decision for her to make. I think the Connecticut Sun really has been a good look for Rachel Banham because Rachel is not a player who's going to play a ton of minutes. She's going to play around 11 minutes a game or so, but she can shoot. All right, so she's not a starter whatsoever, but she can come off the bench and score. So far this season, she's averaging 4.9 points a game. She did have a fantastic game this past weekend against Phoenix where she scored 24 points in that game. She had a whopping 8 3-point shots. She can really shoot the three really, really well. And so to me, the decision was made that if you're going to get a player like Marina, you have to get some cap space off because Marina Mabrey is getting a good, healthy salary. And so because of that, the Connecticut Sun needed to part way with a player. And, you know, the best player they could possibly part ways with and still have good chances of making it all the way to the finals was a player like a Rachel Banham. So, you know, Rachel is on a protected veteran contract through 2025. And her salary is not that high. You know, so her salary is $95,000, whereas Marina Mabrey, hers were in the 200s. Also, the Chicago Sky receive Mariah Jefferson as well. Mariah Jefferson is more of a point guard type of player. She is actually getting paid a real good, healthy salary. She's getting $141,000 this year. Next year, she'll be at $145,000. I'm okay with this trade because I think of Mariah Jefferson and Lindsay Allen as a very similar player. So now instead of Dana Evans playing point at times for the Chicago Sky, it's gonna be Mariah Jefferson. She's gonna be the point guard off the bench for the Sky. And the Chicago Sky also receive, as this graphic shows, they also receive the first round pick for the 2025 draft and the swap pick rights for 2026. Now, guys, here's the thing. Both of these teams had different reasons for this trade. For the Connecticut Sun, their reasoning was win now. We need to win a championship. This is our best opportunity to win a championship. We need a bona fide shooter. They got that. And for the Chicago Sky, to me, the strategy seems to be no longer let's maximize our winning this season. And now the strategy seems to be let's focus on the future. That's it for the Chicago Sky. For the Connecticut Sun, it is win now. Win now for the Connecticut Sun is win now. For the Chicago Sky, it's let's look forward to the 2025 WNBA draft. That's the strategy, it seems, for the Chicago Sky. And to me, you know, that's a win. Rachel Banham's a good player. Mariah Jefferson's a good player. They're not Marina Mabrey. They're not. Combined, they're not. They don't give the Chicago Sky what Marina Mabrey gives us. They don't. So if you are a Sky fan and you're like, man, this is a terrible trade because Marina Mabrey scored a lot of points and all yada yada yada. The purpose for the Sky making this trade was not to win this year. It wasn't. Okay? It wasn't. Yes, Mariah Jefferson can score. Yes, Rachel Banham can score, but they don't give you what Marina Mabrey gave you. The reason for this trade is to set yourself up for future success. That was the purpose. So it was a win for both teams. It was a win for the Connecticut Sun. It was a win for the Chicago Sky. Two different strategies. So keep that in mind as you think about this trade. Two very, very different strategies. Rachel Banham, I think she's going to flourish with the Chicago Sky. She is going to be our player to come off the bench and score. We struggle with having some scorers come off the bench, and she's going to be able to do that. For Mariah Jefferson, she's going to be our backup point guard for Lindsey Allen. So in the event that we see an injury, she'll be able to step right in. So yeah, I think it's a good trade all around. The Chicago Sky had the cap space to absorb those salaries, and they also, now we're in a position to have two first round picks for next season. For the 2025 WNBA draft. And there's lots of really good players that are going to be in the 2025 WNBA draft, and it sets the Sky up for an opportunity to package those first round picks into a higher first round pick, or it gives you the opportunity to draft two very, very high quality players. And so makes sense. To me, I think it's a dub for both teams. I really do. I really do think it's a dub for the Chicago side. Now that Marina Mabrey is out, now that she's gone, I think we're going to see Lindsey Allen. We're going to see Kennedy Carter. We're probably going to see Michaela Onyenwere at the 3, and Angel and Camilla. That's going to be the starting lineup, in my opinion. For the Connecticut Sun, I think for sure Marina Mabrey is going to be starting. I think she's going to be starting. I think she's going to start in place of Ty Harris. I think that's a really good possibility that she's going to be starting for Ty Harris. So it's going to be Alyssa Thomas, Brianna Jones, DeWanna Bonner, Dejanay Carrington, and Marina Mabrey. That's my thoughts right now for the starting lineup. And it's a good time for this decision to make this trade because we are now in All-Star break. And so it's going to be a month in between time where these players are going to be able to get acclimated with their new team and get acclimated with the new systems. And so it all works out really, really well. It works out really, really well. Now, guys, that is my sort of opinions and synopsis about this trade. Let me know what y'all thought about this trade in the comments below. I am very, very much curious to hear what y'all have to say about this. To me, again, win-win, both teams. I think this has worked out very, very well. Now, guys, there is some additional information that I do want to share with you that does bring a lot of color to this situation. So now this is news courtesy of the Chicago Sun-Times. Now I do want to pull up the reader on here. So according to sources, now this is shout out to Annie Costabile from the Chicago Sun-Times who wrote this article, and she actually just recently updated it with some new information. So she writes that here's right here. It says the Sky found themselves in a familiar position on Wednesday, executing a trade as a result of a player's desire to be elsewhere. Hint, hint. Marina wanted to leave. All right. Earlier, before the season actually started, in the offseason, the Chicago Sky were trying to get some good free agents. They were unsuccessful at getting some of the top players like a Skylar and a Nneka to Chicago. And because of that, Kahleah Copper requested a trade. All right. So Jeff Pagliacca and Teresa Weatherspoon acquiesced to that trade request, and they sent Kahleah Copper packing and sent her to Phoenix. She's happy. We got a great draft pick. So win-win, basically. And now they've done it again. They have done it again because, as Annie writes, she says that Jeff Pagliacca made the decision to move Marina Mabrey because it was a player's request. So Marina Mabrey was requesting to leave the Chicago Sky. There was something happening with the Chicago Sky that Marina Mabrey was like, you know what? I'm done. I got to go. So Marina Mabrey requested this trade. Here's what Jeff had to say about Marina. He said, Marina has made a significant impact over the past 2 seasons with the Sky. Behind her scoring ability, playmaking, competitiveness, and commitment to the community. We appreciate all of her contributions to the organization and wish her continued success in the league. Now, guys, why exactly Marina requested a trade? We don't know, but we know that she requested this trade and she is the player who started this. And as I said earlier, I still think this is a win-win. This is a great win-win. Similar to the Kahleah Copper trade. The Sky wouldn't have traded Kahleah if Kahleah didn't ask for it. Kahleah asked to get traded. We got a great draft pick. And now we have, both Angel and Camilla on the same team as a result of Kahleah Copper getting traded. Now, Marina Mabrey wants a trade. Okay, fine. We're going to send Marina to Connecticut. Connecticut is going to get a lot better. And they're going to be a lot more ready to win now for the WNBA championship. Okay, so that's thought process for the Connecticut Sun. For the Chicago Sky, yes, we weren't necessarily looking to trade Marina, but now we are fully in the mode of next year. All right, we're in next year mode right now, trying to see what we can make happen in terms of getting some good draft picks for next season. So that's something to note. So guys, we do have Mariah Jefferson, as it says here. She is a 5'6" guard from UConn that was selected number 2 overall, which, wow, I forgot that she was drafted so high in 2016. And yeah, so we got Mariah Jefferson to the squad. We also have Rachel Banham. Rachel Banham is really good player, I would say. She's a player who actually just knocked down a whole bunch of threes over the weekend, so that's kind of cool. Now, guys, here's how we got Marina Mabrey. Also, guys, just shout out to Annie. Like, I think she's like one of the best reporters in the WNBA. Actually, I would say the best reporter in the WNBA. She also gave a little bit of backstory as to how we got Marina Mabrey in the first place, which for the newer fans, I think this is very important to understand. So as we all know, James Wade was the head coach and general manager for the Chicago Sky for years. And after we lost Candace to free agency, going to Vegas, and Courtney Vandersloot decided to leave for New York, and we saw Allie Quigley decide to take the year off. The Chicago Sky we're in no man's land. We'd won a championship 2 years prior, and we were in limbo. Like, okay, well, what did we do to make some stuff happen? So James Wade, what did he do? He made a trade, a massive trade, that gave away our first round pick for last year's, or for the 2023 draft, also for the 2024 draft. And we also do have a right to swap. We also gave the right to swap picks to the Dallas Wings for the 2025 draft. So we do have our own pick for 2025 for the first round. But we did do that pick swap with the Dallas Wings. And in return for that, we got Marina Mabrey. That was a whole lot to get rid of for Marina Mabrey. She's a great player. She is. But that draft capital was huge for us. It didn't really work out well. The Sky didn't make anything really happen. We barely got to the playoffs last season. And this year, you see the prospects right now. We're in that 8th spot right now. And it's time for Marina. She wanted to move on, and so it's time for her to move on. So she has moved on to the Connecticut Sun. Ultimately, I think this is a huge win for the Connecticut Sun. I think this is a huge win for the Chicago Sky because it's all about the future of the Sky. It's about the future of the Sky. That's the purpose. Focus on the future. Focus on getting better because there is going to be a lot of players in the draft, a lot of top players in the draft for next year. And the Chicago Sky need more of a scorer. if not a point guard in the draft. You already got your post positions already set, right? You got that set already. Now it's about trying to figure out what you can do in terms of guards, and the draft is going to be a great place to do that. But yeah, guys, the trade deadline, just so y'all know, is on August the 20th. And Annie writes that the Sky could end up moving Dana Evans. I don't think Dana Evans is going to get traded. Like, I don't. I really don't see it, because I don't see a team trading for Dana Evans. I don't. But yeah, that's the news, guys. That's the news. Marina Mabrey is moving a little bit closer to home. She is from New Jersey. She is moving to Connecticut. So guys, that is the news. That is the news. I did want to make sure you all knew that. JP says, who is the reporter? The reporter is Annie Costable. I don't even know if I'm saying her last name right. She's with the Chicago Sun-Times. She makes, she is, like, her job is focused on the Chicago Sky. Like, she's the Chicago Sky beat writer for the Sun-Times, and she does a really good job of that. So that is the reporter for this story. B, no, I don't think Dana Evans is going to get waived. No. It would make no sense for them to waive her, because she's on a guaranteed contract. So they're going to have to pay the money regardless. So it doesn't make any sense to waive her. And I don't think they're going to trade her. I think they're just going to keep her. Yeah, so that's the news, guys. I am very much curious to hear what y'all have to say. Clearly there was something going on that made Marina say, you know what, I want to jump ship. I want to be gone. But, we'll see. Again, the trade deadline is on August the 20th. We'll see if the Sky make any more moves. We'll also see if any other team makes any moves. The Sky do have another person that they can bring on via free agency, because they waived Kaiser earlier in the year, and so they can make some stuff happen. But the thing that I love, and the thing I really do appreciate about the Chicago Sky is that Kalia Copper wanted to leave. They found a way to get her to leave. Marina Mabrey wants to leave, and she requested a trade. They acquiesced. Yes, the Chicago Sky could have said, you know what? Suck it up, Marina. Suck it up. I know you say you want to leave. However, you're under contract. We're going to force you to play. You got to play. It is what it is. They could have done that. The Sky could have done that. And teams have done that in the past. But I actually really appreciate the fact that she said she wanted to leave. They found a place for her to go. And it's a place that benefits the team that she's going to, and it's a place that benefits us in terms of what we get in return for, meaning those the draft picks really is the key thing right there. So I think it's a win-win, and I appreciate the fact that that the Sky was like, hey, you're not happy? Go. Because the Sky is like a very like familial type of team. Like, they're very family oriented more than everybody else. It seems. And so that's cool. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just the vibes wasn't working between Marina and the team. I don't know. But she requested a trade, and now she's gone. The fans are pretty bummed about it, because Marina Mabrey became a fan favorite for the Chicago Sky, so that's a thing. But yeah. Yogurt says the Sky needs to sign Brenna Maxwell. Oh, well, I've seen video of Brenna practicing, so I think Brenna's okay. I think she's okay to play. I think she's okay to play. All right, guys, that is the news. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Guys, if y'all appreciate the info, please let me know by hitting that like button. Also, subscribe to the channel. I make content all about women's basketball. Yeah, guys, that's the news. Again, let me just show this one more time. The Chicago Sky received Rachel Banham, Mariah Jefferson, the first round pick in the 2025 draft, and the rights to swap the 2026 first round pick. And the Sun, in return, received Marina Mabrey and the 2025 second round pick. All right, so that is the news, guys. I am very much curious to see what y'all have to say about this in the chat. But yeah, I'm interested to hear. Marvin says Marina jealous of Kennedy. I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think she was jealous of Kennedy. JoJo, yeah. Marina is a really good player. She's a really, really good player. She's a streaky player, so she can be off really bad, and she can be on really bad. Like it just depends. She's streaky in a similar way to Arike Gumbawale. That's Marina Mabrey. But when she's hot, she's hot. Carmela says the vibe was off. I've been saying this the last few games. She didn't seem like she wanted to be there. I don't think they would trade her. I didn't think they would trade her so soon. I say this coming. I saw this coming more at the end of the season. Well, but I would say this was the best time to make the trade because again we're going into All-Star break, Olympic break. It's basically a month off, and teams are going to have more time to acclimate. So she's going to be able to acclimate really with the Connecticut Sun team in terms of like what they want to do, how they run their offense, and all that good stuff. Rachel Bana, Mariah Jefferson, same thing for the Chicago Sky. But yeah, guys, that's the news. I think that's it for me. Yes, Missy, I can do that. Absolutely, I can do that. I can make a show about the potential upcoming draft class. I can do that. Yep. All right, guys. That is the video. I thank you all so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for watching. Guys, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Yeah, have a good one. Make sure to like that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get some merch. If y'all want some merch, y'all can get that at QLSapparel.com. It really does help the channel out a whole lot. This has been me talking about the trade that was between the Chicago Sky and the Connecticut Sun, guys. Also, this was me doing the live stream play-by-play. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. I will talk to y'all soon. Be nice to someone. Treat someone with respect. Tell somebody that they matter because they do. Until next time, guys, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.